The connection between logic and human cognition is interesting. Logic is a very important school of thought in AI for several reasons. One reason is that logic provides a very formal and precise way of reasoning. Another reason is that logic provides a formal notation for expressing how intelligent agents reason, whether or not they're using logical reasoning. But does this mean that logic is also the basis of cognition? It certainly appears that humans use logic some of the time. For example, I may have a statement like, if I get a big bonus, I'll take a long vacation. I did get a big bonus, therefore I may infer I'll take a long vacation. This is clearly modus ponens. But simply because our behavior appears to be logical does not necessarily imply that we use logic as a fundamental reasoning strategy. I might solve a new problem by analogy to a previously encountered problem. I did not use logic, but my behavior appears to be logical. The logic that we have considered so far is deductive logic. But a lot of human reasoning is inductive or abductive in its character. If you haven't come across the term abductive so far, we'll discuss it in detail later in the class. Deduction has to do with reasoning from causes to effects. Abduction has to do with reasoning from effects to causes. When you go to a doctor, you go with certain signs and symptoms. Those are the effects. The doctor comes up with a disease category. That's the cause. Abduction is reasoning from data to an explanation to a disease category for that data. Induction is, given some relationship between cause and effect for a sample, how do we generalize it between a cause and effect relationship for a population? So while human reasoning appears to be inductive and abductive in character much of the time, the logic that we have considered so far is deductive. That's yet another issue that we'll return to later in the class.